Hello, everyone. I'm so happy we're here today. Hi, Tom. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm
Hello,
really, really
Paulina.
grateful that you agreed to do this interview, this beautiful testimonial interview. So, because we want to support other leaders and inspire them to take action now, as Tony Robbins says, when would now be the best time to do something, right? So, could you please first just introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Tom, but first of all, thank you for inviting me to be able to share this with others and to share the journey that I've made also with other people. I hope it inspires or triggers something with them. And I'm super happy what happened in the past half year with me. And I thank you for that, for helping me and guiding me through this process. So that's maybe a first start. And then second, your question was like, who are you?
Yeah, just
My
introduce
name,
yourself.
my,
So,
my, my name is Tom. I'm really fascinated by growth in my life. I started in Brabant, in south of the Netherlands, traveled the world a bit on my search for adventure. I got married to Miriam, have two beautiful kids. Worked for corporates, had my own companies, successful, not successful, did a lot of innovations, transformations, change management for all different kind of companies. And that's where that's where I that's a bit of my background. I got to a moment where I got a bit stuck in my life. Um, um, Jobs didn't really turn out as it should be. I had different dreams than were realized, um, and I had my some challenges in my marriage. My children were flowing out of the house, so I had a bit of the empty nest syndrome,
mhm.
midlife crisis, and all these things combined. And I thought, Tom, maybe it's time to seek some help for somebody who can you need to solve this problem. And that is a bit of my motto. If you have a problem, then solve it and find the people around you that can help you do it if you cannot do it yourself. Yeah, so that's a bit of my introduction and also the start of where we got started with this.
I love it. And I mean, I love your motto when if there is a problem, solve it. I think I'm gonna steal that.
Welcome to.
Very masculine. I love it. So the first question that I have for you is, what was the biggest shift, personally or professionally, in business or life, that you experienced during our last 6 months, and how did it impact really your again your career, your life, your business, who you are?
Yeah, I remember when we first met, and that was also something that triggered me in our why I decided to engage with you is that you told me I said, "Yeah, Paulina, I have this challenge. I'm a bit stuck, and can you help me a bit?" And then you said, "I need a plan for. I'm 50 now, and I need a plan for the next 15 years to move forward." And then you told me, Tom, why do you make a plan for 15 years? That doesn't make any sense because you know you'll be in the same spot in 15 years from now. Why don't you make a plan for life? And that was something that really triggered me. So that's why I decided to engage with you because I realized that I don't need like small shifts, a bit left, bit right. I need like a redesign. I need a new, yeah, a redesign of what I'm doing. And that is what I thought, okay, let's engage with Paulina on doing this. Now I know I'm telling this, it just flows, but I don't remember the question
That's
exactly.
okay. I will help you. But wow, yeah, I remember that very specifically, and we haven't touched on that for the since then, right? So it's funny that it comes up now. And yes, it's like Tony also says that, if you plan in a yearly uh, like spurts, then you will be probably disappointed because we overestimate what we can do in like a half a year, but underestimate what we can do in 5 years or 10 years. So we
Hmm.
usually, we have these big goals and like the New Year's resolutions, and then we never hit them, and then we sort of judge ourselves. That's the saboteur move. But if we plan in decades, if we think about like decades,
Hmm.
and really, by the way, think about our health, who do we need to become, who do we want to become, and
Hmm.
we plan for that long-term longevity, the sustainability, that's when really the magic happens because we can hold so much more, right? And the vision becomes such a big thing, and it pulls us. So
Yeah.
thanks for reminding me of that. I didn't remember. I wouldn't remember. It's not like in my toolbox for first
Yeah.
meetings that I do that. The question was what
Leadership, right?
yeah,
Made me
well,
leader.
basically, what happened for you in the last 6 months? Like, what really changed?
Yeah.
What did you get from it? So you started with you had a bit of a life crisis, you would say. And by the way, you're 50, and we used to have that in at the age of 40. So now we know we moved over
To
all
50, yeah.
year, like the lifespan from 80 to 100, because now it's the midlife. I'm joking a bit. So you were in that situation a little bit. I remember you said that I think, what I really remember from you is like you came and said, Paulina, if I always wanted what I always knew what I wanted and I got all of it. And now I don't know what I want.
Hmm.
So, right. So like, that's why I need like this. And that's what I remember. Like you achieved everything and it's like, what now?
Correct.
Right? Like what now? Like just repeat everything. It's crazy. So,
Yeah.
so again, like, so that's where you were. What really happened for you? What changed? What were you able to shift again within yourself, within the business or life relationship?
Yeah. I think the first thing that happened is I was a bit like the person I was very far away from who I am. And what I've done in the past months is brought the person who I am closer to, like, they sort of are now one. Yes, so I am who I am, and that's just it. And that is like a foundation for, I think, for any leadership. How can you ask people to follow you if you don't follow yourself? That's like very difficult. So I think that's step one, and that happened. Then I even went further, I think, in my development, because I also developed a new framework for making decisions. So choices that I make in life, like simple things like what time do I get up? Like, do I invest time in these people? How do I celebrate my birthday, for instance? One of the things I found out is that I find connection very important. So I designed my birthday, my 51st birthday. I designed that in such a way that I would meet people in small groups during the whole day, because that is like an ultimate connection I can make with people. And that gave me a lot of joy. Where in the past I would throw a big party, and then I would cater all evening. And then in the end of the evening, I would say, like, yeah, who did I actually meet, and that would be for the promise of the next time somebody else will throw the party, and then I can enjoy the company of others. But that never happens. So I just thought, let's organize it for myself and do it this way. And this, by making this connection this way, already gives a lot of guidance and inspiration to other people, which I think is displaying some leadership. The other thing that happened is that my daughter, my oldest one, she told me that you have changed, which I thought was also a major compliment, because she is seeing that I'm working on things that I find challenging in my life, and I see the shift. So that is also really something important to me, that I'm an example to my children, and they can see what I'm doing, and hopefully they'll follow my path when they get in a similar situation. Yeah.
And this gives me like goosebumps,
Yes.
like really, because I'm a daughter,
Yeah.
I'm sure like there are many people who watch this, they are either a daughter or a father or a son, and we all know how much we learn from our parents and how we want to be loyal to what they do. and what they show us, that's the ultimate leadership, I think, when you can really in the closest proximity, right, to you, when people see you, like, really, when you can really make that shift. It's such a
Yeah.
beautiful
Yeah.
example. Yeah.
Thank you for that. I consider that a compliment, so thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And then third, what happened is that I also was able to, so I'm closer to myself. I have a decision framework, and now I need to sort of give it a form or a shape, like an artist. They have this energy and they need to find, like, how am I going to sort of give this make it manifest?
Hmm.
And that is also that I found. That was one of the first sessions we had. We instantly found what this is, what I'm looking for. So my objective is to do something with an age group that I find really interesting, and I think I'm very much would be able to contribute to their personal development, which is the age group of 16 to 23-year-olds. And I started like shifting my business, investing some of my money and especially my efforts and my mental attention into this new business initiative that I'm about to launch, I think in September or October this year, where we're now doing the foundational stuff for this. But in parallel, I also still run all the things that I already did with my business in fintech. And also there, the energy is sort of apparent, and customers just pick it up and they just swirl around this, and they notice what is happening, um, and there is reciprocity. So it is with them, but it's also with me that we find total new fields of energy, new domains of business, and things are growing, and actually everybody's enjoying it. Just to give you an example, like I used to be in conference calls with all black screens, like everybody would be, and then there would be a topic, and people would say, "Oh, sorry, can you repeat that question?" And then they're not paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah.
Now, when I'm in calls, everybody turns on their camera.
Wow.
This is like a very small thing, but it's
No,
very
it's
big
not small.
because
It's huge.
it brings enormous connectivity connection. My meetings are like rather than an hour now, I don't plan longer than half an hour. Usually they take 20 minutes for these update meetings or action points or like stuff. And we spend quite some time also on building a connect. And this flows like totally naturally.
Wow. I didn't know that.
There's zero effort. It even, boosts performance of the teams. Yeah.
This is so incredible because, Gallup statistics are that showing that I think only 20 something percent of people are engaged and
Yes.
the rest are quiet quitting or loud quitting, which means like, right? Like, or quiet quitting is like, hi, I'm on mute. I'm just gonna, because I'm in my pajama. And then, like
Yeah.
quietly, I'm just here, but I'm not really. It is huge. It is huge because that's what I'm working with always, right? Like, and why I'm doing the work is because when you at your level are doing that shift with people at your level, when they join and they are engaged,
Hmm.
because they're now inspired, right? They engaged by your presence because I mean we talked about it. Your presence is like has changed so much. Your energy has changed so much. So first of all, we did recap everything like on our last session, but this is like still new, I think, what you're now sharing. Also, the fact that um, because I do remember very clearly, you said to me, I asked you, what do you want as a goal for the 6 months? You said, I want to know what I want. That's it. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get this fast, right? And you're like, no, that's what I want. That's it. I'm like, okay, fine. We
Hmm.
got this like sorted in one session, right? You knew exactly
Yes.
what you wanted. And the fact that you are now, you didn't tell me that you're gonna start the business now in, by the Q4. The fact that this is because no one knows when now they listen to this that it's a purpose driven, your heart driven mission, like an absolute like what you really are, right, ignited to do to help young generation so that, they don't go into drugs. It's through sports, right? It's through mental understanding. And it's so beautiful and so rewarding. And as a father, right, you know how important that is for those kids. And I mean, this is big, this is huge, right? And at the same time, you get so efficient in your current roles that you didn't have to, like, because people often think, oh, now I have to drop this, do this. No, no, not really. Usually not. Like I think all of my clients, honestly, when we work through those things, they tell me, oh yeah, I could spend just half a day on it. I could totally do it. So then you could have half a day to do other things if you really were energized. But that's the thing, the energy, you need to have the energy to do it. Otherwise, it's like you feel lazy, procrastinating. So now you have all this energy that in the same amount of time, you don't just do the job you were doing, you do it much better because now everyone is on camera and energizing everyone. And at the same time, you're starting your own business that is mission driven, that is changing the world, that is so important. Like, because it is so important, now kids, they in their phones, they're not outside ever, they're not like playing, connecting, connections lack of. And it's dangerous, for them. And they don't know what to do. They don't have really guidance, and the drugs in school, like all of this is just horrific, and the number of suicides and like attempts, right? Like I have friends with teenage kids. It's like really, really crazy. So this is really big. Like I want to acknowledge you for that. It's really fantastic that you're doing that.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you. Anything
Okay, so
else?
that's how it changed my sort of my leadership. Bit long answer to a short question.
Anything else you may want to add on the life side? If you want to share anything about the relationship, about
Yeah, I think if you touch upon yourself, you touch upon everything around you. So also your relationships with my wife, with my children, with my friends, with my colleagues, with like everything is touched upon, and you cannot deal with everything at the same time. So. Also, some of the things, like for instance, with the relationship with my wife or with my children, they're so complex and so tight that it's not easy to make changes. So it takes time, but that is fine. That's if you look at it as one of my other core values is adventure. So I look at this as an adventure, as exploring, as discovering how other people work. Like how can we make this work? Let's figure it out. And yeah, so it touches upon all these aspects of your life, but I enjoy it.
yes,
It's a discovery for me.
absolutely. And I think what's important to say is like what you said at the beginning. When you shift and change, it does automatically change like people do respond to that energy shift. And so it is changing without even doing anything with it. And then focusing energy on it, it's just, making it, amplifying it, and giving it more, space to like fix problems if there are any, or just make it better, make it more connected, and living those values that you have. So I do remember through my growth, like how I changed my relationship with my parents, even though
Mhm.
I don't even see them often, but just by me sending them like a letter with gratitude, for example.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, they were like, we got your letter, and they were like confused, but I could feel the shift. And then my mom said, oh, dad brought me like a gift. I'm like, what? Like, he would not ever bring her a gift since I remember, like
Mhm.
just like that, no occasion. I was like, this is very weird. Like, and then I also knew that this is what I'm creating in my extended family, in just by being different and leading that energy shift, and having more grace and more compassion and more love, just gratitude. It just changes. Everyone is stepping up, right? So
Yes.
I mean, I love these stories, and it's very sort of hard to explain to people what's happening, and because it's just really pure, like it's purely energy shift and the
Well,
quality
I
of
can give you
relationship.
some examples what happened in my relationship, for instance.
Hmm.
You pointed out something called the love languages. So I
Oh,
read this
yes.
book. We did the test. So I did the test, and then I filled it out for my wife as well. And then I was too curious. I could not suppress my curiosity. So I asked her, "Can you also please fill out this questionnaire?" So she filled it out, and then we put them next to each other, and we found out that we have, like, I was totally wrong with my vision on her. Like,
Mm,
I thought, oh, okay. And then I found out that we have actually very similar love languages. So I was super happy with that because then that was a point where we could decide, like, oh, if we have the same love language, then it's very easy to make moments in our life, like, for instance, spending time together is really important to us. So let's make the time that we spend together quality time and not like these operational times, where you need to do the calendar, talk about the kids and the laundry and what food we need to prepare, etc. No, just divide the tasks. We're adults, so everybody can do the task. So the functional part is out. And we have times during the week, like every Wednesday, we spend the evening together. We have planned this, like that's our time.
yeah.
Yeah, and we eat something together and then we go for a walk. And that is like super. We both look, it's a very simple thing, but it really helps a lot.
So amazing. And they say if you are not aware of it, you cannot change it. But the fact is that how long have you been married?
Oh, now I'm on camera, so it's a bit different. I
That's okay.
don't
20
know, but
plus.
maybe 20 years or so, something like this.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So and yet look, I remember the session, right? You thought that the languages are this. And usually we could tell. I mean, when we are so long knowing someone, like we think we know. Like we're so sure we know.
Hmm.
And then you were not right about it.
Correct. Yeah.
Like what the F, right? Like how cool is that this was like the huge thing. I remember you came after that she took the cat. Your energy was like through the roof because the level of like even just like hope and inspiration and like just ignition of like fire into it that now I know what to do, right? Because the masculine energy wants to know what to do, and if there is like a conflict, it's very hard. Like I don't know how to fix it, but like this cleared so much for you, I think, because now you know what to do. Like
Yes.
it's so easy then, right? Like and it's really important to have that awareness because we sometimes often, we assume and then we make ass of you and me, right? But we assume so much. And I just yesterday shared in one of my group programs when you hear yourself saying I know or I don't know, those are both signs you are in your sabotage.
Hmm.
Whether it's I know or I don't know, try to think of like the mind as the Google or ChatGPT. Just put in the I know or I don't know and see what comes up. Like maybe a song, I don't know, but it's not gonna give you anything. Like won't be any answer to your question. There is no question. Like it's just gonna be I know or I don't know. It's shutting it off, right? So
And you're bringing up a point that also really helped me in my personal development, which is the use of certain words or non-words. Like this is also very small, but very big.
yes,
The word of maybe, the word of trying.
yeah,
Uh, I try to eliminate them. So my objective is to eliminate them from my language.
yes.
And but every time I use the word, I get very conscious that I use the word and then saying, look, what is it that you want? And go for that one. Make up your mind, what is it left or right or
Yes.
undecided? That's also okay.
So beautiful. And the maybe word, my mentor says, when you say maybe, just add to this little mantra, maybe means yes.
Yeah.
Just okay, maybe means yes. So maybe it's yes. So like just move on to like some kind of definitive. Because we know, maybe just means I'm in fear. So it's better to say, I'm still deciding, I'm in a process of deciding. That's more like within me versus like outside. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Tom. Let's move on to the next question then. Why would you recommend this experience specifically to other C-level leaders or CEOs, business owners? And who would you think would benefit from it, really?
Yeah.
So first, let's say why. Why would you recommend it to someone? And already thinking like who would really benefit? Who would you recommend it to?
Yeah, so I would recommend this. I think very similar to me for people who want to make a redesign of their life, who get stuck at some point, and who want to like. I think it's definitely for people who want.
Yes.
So you have a problem and you want to solve this, or you recognize that it's there and you want to figure out what the issue is and then build on it from there. So I think it's definitely a program. So I think that's a prerequisite. You need to want, and you need to have a problem that you maybe not even aware, that you can maybe not even describe it totally, but you are aware that it's there and you want to solve it. I think it's for those people, and I know many people in my age who have very similar problems, but some of them, they don't tackle them, or they don't want to work with it, or they don't want to touch upon it, or they find it too risky to
Yeah.
do it because it also touches upon their relationships and these kind of things. But so I think it's definitely so I think that's really important, that you want to solve it and you want to do a redesign, and you have the confidence or belief that you can make this, that you can do this, by you can design it and then live through it. And that's what I like about this Tony Robbins or this NLP kind of thinking which is behind it. That is what I really believe in. Um, that's also why what triggered me in connecting with you is the Tony Robbins approach. And I thought, this is what I need. I think it's doable, it's designable, it's creatable. And if you have the design, you can live the design that you made. So I think for people who want to get the redesign and be energized to live according to this redesign, I think they should definitely engage with you. Yeah, then it's always on a personal level,
Mhm.
whether you think, oh, Paulina is the person who needs to do this or not. Yeah, but for me, like the trigger, like you are very triggering. You trigger things in me because you're very sharp in your analysis. And what I think you can do very well, you can see what is happening and then apply the right tool or approach or method or like these kind of things in the right time. So you see when I am ready for it, and then you give me something. Yeah, and then I start to work with it. I come back, I made my development, and then you give me another one. So you look at me and you try to optimize my personal development. And I think that is fabulous. That really worked out over the past months.
I love it. Thank you so much. And you said something that I wanted to ask you. Why do you think? Because you said there are people in your age, or not even in your age, but that have similar problems,
Mhm.
and some of them don't even want to do it. Then some of them they might want to do it, but they either don't believe it or they think it's too risky. But like, why do you think really they? What's like really like in their mind that they just won't do it. Like they really sacrifice the rest of their life to be in this like state of pain because it's state of pain and suffering usually. And yet they there is a reason that they don't want to move. Do you know? Like why would you think knowing these people like what's the reason really that they don't want to move that they
Yeah, yeah. I can tell you. I think many of these people are caught in a web of providing, and are afraid that if they break with the pattern, they'll not be able to provide anymore.
Mm, yeah, that makes sense.
And then what I see is that people in my age start to realize, my children go out of the house. My pattern of like the need for provisioning is less
Mm.
or decreases. So, there becomes more space to do other things. What do I want to do with that space?
Yeah, and I mean this is so crazy because I didn't really see it. So thank you for sharing. But like one of my other clients, he just also said, now that my like kids are there or like something, now we can travel again, or like it's like this really like the providership that, because this is very masculine energy, provide, provide, provide. And many of my clients who are men, not all my clients are men, I also work with women, but many male clients, they have this, it's like a cage. I call it golden cage, right? You sort
Mhm,
of provide and then you're stuck with it forever. And
mhm.
often there is this lack of appreciation often, because it's taken for granted. And it's this really like you're in chains, you must work and provide, you sacrifice your whole life, and you usually don't even get appreciation for it anymore. It's not really for you, it's just because it's an obligation. And yeah, and yet you often my clients would tell me that without it they it's like they don't exist, like it's not that defines their whole life, right? So it's interesting you also said that.
Yeah,
In the end, I would say it's always fear, right? Fear, and I know because I've been there. Not that I need to provide for the families and all of that, but I've been there myself. I remember to this day when I discovered my saboteurs, and I was going to work on them, and I thought to myself, I don't think so. I like my saboteurs. Hyperachiever, great. I because of hyperachiever, I have money in my bank account. Controller, amazing. I'm in charge. Like because the saboteurs make us believe that without them we would die. We would not be able to. It's like we would be like a vegetable on a couch. That's what I thought. I would be like without any energy. I would not be able to do anything because I had my like uh, you know like I was beating myself up to do things and the things were done. So I thought if I remove that beating device, uh,
yeah,
that won't happen. But that's such a lie of the saboteurs because we can repeat again. You not only got huge deals with your current business that came to you easily, and we're talking millions, right, of like potential business that just came to you,
I
and you
cannot tell you, sorry.
no, I know. I'm just hallucinate, but let's say a lot, a lot. But still, like the business is growing, even though you're doing less because you're doing more efficient work, you're more energized, and at the same time you're starting your freaking mission-driven business that is going to create even more impact on everything, right? So when you do remove the saboteurs, you actually have so much more power within you, but the
Yeah,
saboteurs will not let you believe that, right? So I think that's a very, very critical point too. And the belief, you said that too, people will not move if they do not believe this could work. If they think, oh, usually people think, I don't want to look stupid, that this won't work. If I spend money on it, what if this doesn't work? And then I will look stupid,
yeah.
right? And it's like such an attachment to the money that, and I'm like, this money is like nothing compared to your whole life, like it's really like, yeah, it's significant amount, and yet it's also very small amount when you think about what's at stake, right? So I think it's super important.
Yeah, and it's also people who start to become aware. That's also a shift that I made, but I knew that in the past. Like you have people who have the or mindset. They think it's either this one or that one.
Yeah,
It's
scarcity
either I
mindset.
provide or I will or something else. And then I had during King's Day I had a very big discussion because we have a friend and she does the end. She has
Mhm.
an end mindset. Yeah, and she travels the world. She has tons of houses. We get snapshots from her from all over the world. She's living a very happy life. But some people are saying, look, what is this girl doing?
Yes,
You
because
know,
it's fixed versus growth mindset, right? Like fixed
exactly.
mindset is I have only this box.
Yeah,
It is either or. It's a scarcity mindset. It's a very limited mindset
yes,
versus I. What about this and this and this and I can always move slides. Like I can always change like those sliders on percentage, right? I can always
correct.
and you can implement so much more in your life with joy and ease, like you said, ease. It doesn't really have to be hard. It's just how do you feel? You're
Yes.
gonna be so much more effective in that.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. I have one last question for you. If someone, it's a similar question that we already touched on, but if someone at your level is on the fence about joining one of my programs, but they already talking to you. Let's say they're already talking to me. They sort of are pulled, but they're like on the fence. What would you specifically tell them from your perspective?
Yeah, I remember we had the first talk. That's how you convinced me. But I love that because you just asked me like, okay, Tom, so what would it be worth to you if you could solve this problem? Like imagine that this is solved, you have the redesign, you have your object. Like, what is it worth to you? So what's it worth to you? So then I thought, yeah, it's a lot of money. That's what I thought. But yeah, if this helps me, yeah, it's like peanut money. That is one. And then two, I thought, okay, is Paulina the person who can do this for me? Because that's of course the second person. Or help me with this. No, let's do it that way.
Great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who can help me with this? Because that's a better phrasing.
Because you're doing it, right?
Yes, I need to do it myself, but it helps me if you have somebody who can feed you
Yes.
with the right learnings at the right moment. Um, and then I thought, yes, this is the person who can do it. I felt like a thing in my stomach that I thought, this is, I don't know, I used to be, yeah, okay. But then I thought, okay, now let's go all in. I also reserved a whole day during the week to work on this. And then, of course, all extra time that you have. So I thought, this is something that needs to happen in my life. Let's do this. And then, yeah, I think yeah, it really turned out very well for me. And I think that you can do a very similar thing with other people as well. Like I just explained, you really look into the individual and the person, and you feed them with the right tools at the right moment in time, which makes like the use of the tools super effective as you're open to learn and to make the changes and to shift. And I think, yeah, people in similar positions are also usually quite intelligent, so they know how to rapidly learn things.
I love it. Thank you
I
so
yeah,
much.
I think it's like a really an accelerator for this. So if you're on the fence, yeah, get off and get going, I would say.
Thank you. I love it. If you're on the fence, get off and get going. I love it. Thank you so much, Tom. Anything else you would like to add before we close today?
Yeah, I would like to thank you very much for everything you did for me in the past months, and I hope you can help many, many other people with this as well.
Thank you so much. It was my absolute pleasure and honor working with you. So much joy and gratitude that I have for all this process and what you're gonna do, and so excited for what you're gonna create,
Yes.
build, and the adventure that is in front of you for the next 50 plus years. So thank you again so much. I trust this helped whoever was listening. And again, if you're on the fence, like what my mentor Lauren says, the teacher of Tony, she says, "Get off your ass."
Yeah, exactly.
I think she says Gaia. Goya, Goya, get off your ass. And then do something because nothing will be done by itself. So again, thank you so much, Tom. Uh, all the success to you.
Yes, thank you very much.